everyone and welcome, and I am going to show you why I selected Glenmark Pharma and what was the process of selection. Alright, so let's get on with the process and let's try and find out how did I select Glen Pharma. Alright, so Glenmark Pharma, first what I did was at the end of the week in New Trader I get an idea of what are the potential narrow stocks for the week. So I use the concept of CPR. And I found out what was the CPR narrow and wide, right? I took out the CPR narrow and wide, and from that I chose the wide ones and I saw what are the possible opportunities in the wide. Is there any suitable candidates emerging? And then I thought I will go into the narrow. But what I found is when I moved into the wide section, and then out of so many wide stocks which were there, I saw that Glenmark Pharma was featured here. So that made me interested because pharma sector had performed exceedingly well in the last week. It managed to hold on to the selling pressure, and then it also started doing well when the markets began to show some bullish scenario. So now considering this, how can we take some further action into Glenmark Pharma? That's what let us go and take a look at. When I decided to move ahead, I thought, why don't I take a look at stock analyzer? And this is what stock analyzer showed me. You can see here on the intraday and the multi had a strong buy. Okay, I went through various set of stocks, but then what I found is from the wide scenario, I found that there was strong buy in intraday and strong buy in multi-day. So that gave me a very good indication that yes, it is possible for considering this as the stock of the week. Now, when I decided to consider Glenmark Pharma, I thought, why don't I do a comparison with the pharma index? So this is the comparison with the pharma index. You can see here, while pharma index is trying to recover from here, it came into a confluence somewhere in the mid of February, right? And from Feb onwards, we have been seeing that Glenmark Pharma has really shot up and it is outperforming the pharma index. So it's a very good sign which we are witnessing in Glenmark Pharma. So yes, it is giving up that kind of indication. So now let us go and take a look at what we need to do ahead. So what I decided to do was I will take data for a larger period of time. You can see here I have taken data over a larger period of time, and over a larger period of time, what I mean is right from November 2022. You can see here that November 2022, it has been continuously having resistances. You can see here there is continuous resistances. I decided to take the data from November 2022, and you can see here there has been continuous resistances at higher levels. You can see here somewhere out here in December, then again in January, there has been continuous resistances which were being challenged, right? You can see here continuous resistances that were being challenged. But what really happened was that once these resistances were overcome, this was in the region of around 440. Okay, Glenmark was always having difficulty to cross 440, and the same thing happened in towards the Feb and March also. But then what happened was simple concept of support and resistance. If a support and resistance is going to be challenged again and again, then you will definitely have a possible breakthrough, and that's what has happened in Glenmark Pharma, that these resistances have been overcome. So now these resistances will now prove to be support. So any reaction to the way down, okay, any reaction to the way down will act as support. So right now it is presented us a very good opportunity to initiate some longs. Now let us zoom in into a shorter time frame and see what has happened in the recent few weeks. This is the scenario of the recent few weeks, and steady rounding formation. You can see here steady rounding formation, and this is a very good sign of a stock action to the upside. And once the breakout happened and the sustenance of the breakout happened, you are seeing that the stock has continued to move up in a very nice manner. Now let us move into the daily chart and get some more perspective so that we can have an idea of how we can play it as the stock of the week. Right, this is the daily chart. Okay, from the intraday, now we are come to the daily chart just to get a perspective. Okay, and you can see here that over the last 6 months there has been continuous selling emerging at higher, and especially highlighted by the long body candles, right? Long body red candles have been quite significant indicating that there was some heavy sell off at those higher levels. But then now what you can see is formation of long body green. That is an indication that this momentum is heading higher. And also to note is, if you look down at the ADX and DMI, they have not been moving much. They have not been showing much of action out here. That now when it is trying to go up, this was a positive scenario. Well, it tried to go up above 440 and it barely sustained out there. Now you can see once again the positive DMI is rising. So this is a good opportunity for us to participate in the stocks at current levels, at dips to 440. It makes it a very good opportunity for investing on a multi-day basis. Now let us move into the levels which we always track as part of the Neo Trader analysis. So let's see, this is the intraday and positional. Okay, so this is the intraday and multi-day and positional, and based on the current levels, okay, based on the current levels which we are looking at in Glenmark Pharma, this is an important cluster zone. The R1 is a important cluster zone which we always track, and you can see here at R1, okay, not only intraday, not only multi-day, even the positional. So this is a very beautiful cluster which has been formed. 70 region, okay, a resistance out there. But then once that crosses, okay, once that crosses, okay, we are looking at the upside. So we will first look at the upside possibility. You can see here that it has doors open all the way till 482, which is your intraday R3. So if you are an intraday guy watching this, 482 would be your target. Then you are also having 482, which is your positional R2. So you got a positional R2 at 482. Now if those levels were to be exceeded, multi-day at 496. So this is your resistance 2, or sorry, target 2, you can say. Okay, you can say this target 2, and this is your target 1. And above 467, 470 will be your trigger point. So this is your trigger point, and this is your target 1 and target 2. Now in the region of reversal from the current zones, where could we target to buy? So I had spoken about 440 as an important zone, and from the data which I am looking at, okay, from the data which I am looking at as a stock of the week, so a pullback towards the S1 zone. All right, the S1 zone is in close consonance with your multi-day pivot. So this acts as a very good demand zone. Okay, this is your demand zone, and these two are your supply zone. So you have got one demand zone where you can buy into. Now if this were to give away, okay, if this were to give away, then you should take some rest, right? Because at 440 levels we are expecting a reaction, but then it should hold on considering the way it has been moving. Now if that were not to happen, then you should abandon this stock for the moment. But then the way it is set up, you can see that these levels will continue to act, because from here I am finding very good cluster zones. These cluster zones should definitely kick in, and that's why Glenmark Pharma is looking to be a very good buy possibility, and that's why I'm recommending it as a stock of the week. Okay, so let's check out what are the momentum indicators saying, so that we get more idea on how we need to position ourselves. Take a look at the ADX. Okay, ADX is a winner on the intraday, but on the multi-day and positional it is still waking up, so give it some rest. But as an intraday, it's a very good possibility. When you look at the positive DI, RSI is above 60. Thank you so much for watching. This is Raja Venkatraman signing off. Have a good day. Stay safe. Stay healthy.